Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come into the J Spot, replacing your G Spot every Thursday from 6 to 7. Give real relationship talk, real relationship drama with the best life. Your host on IntellectualRadio.com.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Best of your life. Woo! But where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay.
Ooh.
And sitting next to me, we have my co-host, my partner in crime, sizzling, sexy, simply author, playwright, sex kitten. Hey, E, how you doing?
Whew, tired as all get out, but I'm good.
Good. Well, we missed.
Just wonderful. We got to see Mr. Robert Townsend, who was just just a wonderful director in person all well, and Leon, who was just great. Eric Lane, Cinda Williams. She's friends with Little Nas X. So he sings "Horse to the Hotel."
Oh, okay.
So he sings, he raps that or whatever. So he flew up from Hawaii to surprise her because he wanted to see her.
Wow, that was cool.
It was really, really cool because my son was like, "You Little Nas,
nice." That was
nice. He sent me my pictures, but I got through all of them. But he posted his on his page and everything, his Instagram page. But so my son's like, "Mom, you know who that is?" I was like, "No, he's the Old Town Road." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And
wow,
he was so sweet, so nice, so mannerable. Took pictures with all like the children that Friday night or whatever that were in plays, or the parents might have been in play. You could do a monologue, acting with the stars or whatever. So you could, act out with Thea Camara, or you could act out with Cinda Williams or Eric Lane, or even and Robert Townsend was directing everything.
Wow.
So when you had some, like this one teenage girl, she was really, really good. She did a monologue. She was really, really good. And so he was like, "Well, you know what? Who are you talking to?" She's like, "Well, I'm talking to so-and-so doing this monologue." He was like, "Okay, well, whatever direction I walk to, you follow. And if I come towards you, you back away." So when she was going through her monologue, it was a struggle. And he'd walk away and she'd be following him. And he'd walk towards her and she'd walk away. And you'd be like, "This is so cool." And so everybody who participated in the plays this weekend, everybody did a great job, whatever. The whole thing. Mr. Victor Gully, I have to just say kudos to. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, you guys definitely did a great job. Yeah. So definitely we'll have that information. How can they get a copy of like what went on the weekend if they want
to go to A Taste of Theater, all that stuff. So download Upstage. Check out A Taste of Theater on Instagram as well. I believe they have Gulley. Phenomenal person. He's not a playwright per se. Raccoon. I can't think of his name. You're gonna kill me.
Get it right.
But he was so nice and just cool, and he talked to them about Hudson or whatever. He was so nice. And then Guild Casting Agency was out.
Oh, good.
So they
got y'all had some good.
Oh my God, the whole weekend, and then we had the Gary International Black Film Festival. So that the weekend, I was busy. I'm going
to the theater on our page at the J Spot, also on Twitter at J Spot, also on Instagram at the J Spot Radio, and Jay is spelled Jay that believes in old-fashioned values. Just as our ancestors to your national leading brand, there are plenty of testimonials out there on our page as well as their page raving about how wonderful this product is. Try it for yourself. Go to their page, ProditMax.com. Use reference code J, and that's J. Been going on these past few weeks. I have been just bursting to get in this studio because we got to talk.
Did you burst?
I burst. We got to talk. You're listening to the...
told me you would come along. Staring down my soul, cause I was so in love, my heart had grown cold. So cold. You had good energy, exactly what I needed. You're walking my life in places It's the joy where was needed. I don't mirage what I feel for you. But that on God, girl, I'm loving you. Said it's easy. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Oh yeah, yeah. Loving you. You're beautiful. Loving you has always been wonderful. More than you'll ever know. We got the chemistry, go together like love stacks. The passion and care we show one another tops all the rest. The feelings I have for you, I ain't felt in so long. What we share together, baby, the bond is so strong. It's no facade for you, love. But that, oh God, I got love for you, yeah. Said it's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy, baby. Oh, easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy. It's easy to love. Easy to love. Said it's easy. So easy to love. Easy to love you. Loving you has always been easy 'cause you're beautiful. Loving you, yeah, yeah, is what I search my life to do. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh
yeah. Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time. On IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. And sitting next to me, we have my co-host, my sizzling, sexy, simply author, actress, businesswoman, playwright, author, sex kid. Hey E, how you doing?
Happy girl.
Foxy Brown is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Foxy Brown, how's it going? Glowing. I mean, this don't seem for you to have been working off only 6 hours of sleep. I'm just like, okay, you're the most glowingest 6 hours of sleep working person that I've ever seen, because I'm sitting up here.
I'm getting the D.
Ever.
Delicious.
Whatever. You all just disgust me.
I was getting some getting some
on that note, guys, please do me a favor, go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio, and Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Now, you guys, listen. Yes, she was just giving some good news about her and her boo, but she knows that I'm a hater. So here's the thing. I don't hide it. I'm a hater. I'm just saying. So, the hate is definitely real. But you know what? That's okay, because this question is about to put things back in perspective. But before we get to it, this portion of the J Spot is being brought to you by Product Max Herbal Toothpaste. You guys, Product Max is an herbal toothpaste company that believes in old-fashioned values. Just as our ancestors did, Product Max, they believe that natural healing properties come from Mother Earth. You guys, this toothpaste is excellent. Has no fluoride whatsoever. No fluoride. Do your research on fluoride. You'll see how harmful that is to teeth, as well as other places that, that in products that fluoride is contained in. Fluoride is really not a good chemical to be using in anything. No. So definitely do your research on that fluoride, but also compare Product Max to your national leading brand of toothpaste. Hands down.
Oh my goodness.
Hands down, it's going to win. So order your tube today, www.com. Use reference code J, and that's Jaye. Guys, brace yourself. First hot topic. Listen, some people got warm about this question, E, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it. You know why? Because they got warm about it. That's why I'm going to ask it.
What happened, girl?
Does size matter? Does his size matter? Does her size matter? Does it matter?
No.
Okay, why not? Listen, you
Trust. I have had long dong nigga long and couldn't do nothing with that. He couldn't work it. And I have had the tiniest to the tiniest of PDPs, and it was been the best of things. So size does not matter. It's just how you work it. I've had the pencil. I have had Fat Jack. Okay, if you can work it, Fat Jack couldn't fit. It was too big of it. Okay, it wasn't gonna work. But if you can work it, I had one that with that little pencil. He could work that pencil. He hitting the nooks and crannies, baby. Got you screaming for dead life. He hit the spot. So it's all depending on how you work it. If you can't work it, then yeah, the size ain't gonna work. You can implant it all you want. Ain't gonna help. You can lower. Ain't no man trying to lower the size of their winky wong. They gotta. Baby, bye. No, my hole ain't like that, sweetie. Now, shoot.
So now, and that was gonna be my next question. So, fellas, does size matter? Because here's the thing. Like, I mean, is it possible to just, two people are not a size fit? Because it's just like, okay, she could be, average, but he's really small. So
see, that's what the problem is, right there. See, the producer is showing, a hole in his thing. And then
right.
see, his thing is so small that he falls in because it's tiny. It's okay.
In those type of situations, so like, who's to blame? Is it her or is it him? Or would that just be a case where, you know what, we're not compatible?
No, you got to take ownership. Now ladies. Now you's a little hoe. Now let's just be real. But even hoes got tight coochies. That everything is real. Now I know a couple of prostitutes' coochies is tight. They probably just finished with 10 Johns today. 10 tricks. But it's tight because they go on wash it, put some vinegar up in there and tight it back on up. But these other ones, they, just fall on in. But then the dudes. Now your ding-a-ling ain't hitting on nothing. And you know this. Don't stroke your ego and be like, man, you enjoyed this. No, I ain't enjoy it because it was trash. I told y'all before a few years ago, told this one dude, stop. Just stop. Go in the bathroom. He was like, what? I finished the bathroom. I'm ready to go home. I'm not finished. In the bathroom, you can. That toilet, you can. Because it's not happening. It's not happening. I don't feel anything. And it wasn't that, I was loose. It was the fact that he didn't know what he was doing. It was so horrible. See, what's the point? You're not wasting my youth like that. I got birds to watch. That would be more entertaining. Okay. So do that.
Because see, I often hear, especially in this feed that we've had men, and they were like, oh, no. It's her size and she's too big, she's too wide and all this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? He may have a valid point. Or is she wide, or are you just?
She better grip them walls and stuff. Quit playing. If she too wide.
But even if you were to grip your walls, and if it's like a needle, it's still it ain't that much grip in the world for a needle.
Well, Mark says it's all about the effort that you put in. Most guys think if she is tight, it's good. You have to work to get her with their word of pleasure. Please her. I mean, you're right. If it's tight, well, at least you got a grip and stuff. I mean, let's be real. But at the same time, you got to feel something. She got to feel something. Hers could be tight, but your stuff just not hitting on nothing. Your stuff may be trash.
Right.
Her stuff may be trash. Y'all might be both trash together.
Absolutely. And that's why I say, fellas, so don't think that we just, hitting on you, because it's just like, again, you have to be doggone it. You have to be sexually compatible, because it's just like, okay, your size may have been, cool for somebody. I don't know. Like, what would make a little, I don't know. Like, who would be okay with the little one?
I used to be like the,
Yeah, you used to be the little man.
I used to be the Piper for the little ones. I used to be like, send me your little, you're tired, you're tiny. Send them to me. I will build them up. Yeah, you better throw them little things in the trash.
He's like, wait a minute, what in the world is going on?
I'm not stroking your egos no more. I'm over it.
So you over it.
I'm so
God, so let me ask this. So, fellas, have you ever had a woman tell you that you were either it was just you way too much, or she like, you know what, you not enough? And does that play a role in your? Does that affect your ego? And ladies, have you ever had a man tell you, "Oh well, did you ain't tight," or "I thought that you would be tighter than that," or whatever? Like, have
dang.
you ever heard that? Because it's like, okay, again, if they was to say that, again, who fault would that be? Is that the woman, or is it like, okay, yeah, I'm not tight because you a needle, and you
Ooh.
don't think that you a needle, you thinking you Big
He think he
John,
King Kong.
right?
King Kong ain't got nothing on it,
Right,
no
and then it's
dude.
just like you're like,
He Pee Wee Herman.
hello,
I think if she is loose, whatever, it's certain ways. If you really like this person, whatever, it's certain ways that you can tell her, you know what, baby, yes, squeeze, you tighten up your or squeeze, squeeze on it or whatever, work your muscles. That she won't think, oh, maybe I'm loose as all get up. She'd be like, oh, maybe you want a little, squeeze. So go ahead, squeeze it. It's okay. But with dudes, I don't know a good way to tell you. I ain't feeling it. I just,
because that
it's
would
too
lead
little.
into the next. That would lead into the next hot topic. Like, how do you tell a woman that her sex is whack? And they said without hurting her feelings. Is there a way? It's like, okay, if you're telling somebody they sex is whack, then is that gonna hurt their feelings, or does it depend on if you like what your relationship is to the woman? Because a lot of fellas were saying there's no such thing as a whack sex.
I knew
I don't.
somebody who lost his virginity to a chick. He said she was cold inside. I don't understand. I said, well, was she
What?
dead? Are you into necrophiliac? I said, are you a necrophiliac? He was like, no, she's not dead. She was just cold inside.
How do you get? Oh.
So, do you consider cold inside whack stuff?
And what is so like? What is so what? What makes sex whack? In your opinion, E? What makes sex?
Oh my God. When you start talking about yourself, man, bragging about how your stuff is and then bragging about the size and the size ain't working on nothing. You bragging about, I'm all up in this. Dude, you ain't even touched the surface, Man, you feel that? I'm all up in your stomach. No, you not. Dude, you just made it into the little lips because that's as far as you can go. You can't even go into the hole. You just in the little lips right there. You just right there. It's not my stomach. That's my lips. That's my lower lips, baby. Don't do that. Don't do
See,
that.
so I think that sex is whack when there is no chemistry. Like, I
Mm,
mean, and I don't know, like people that can do one night stands and just, you know, just random sex. I guess you got to be set up, wired that way. But I'm like, I try to comprehend, like, how do you have sex and there's no feelings or there's no attachment or there's no emotion? Because I'm just like, man, I had somebody and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not there. Like, I'm like, you have not captivated my attention. You have not tapped into my emotions. You have not done anything. I say, so do you think that this physical touch, do you think that I said, this is not doing
anything
anything
for you?
for me because you haven't
Mm.
hit my spots. So it's like you're thinking that, oh, touching me. And I'm just like, no.
Let me hit your spot, Jay.
Yeah, but that I'm like, you so far from the spot too, it ain't even funny. I'm like,
Put it between her toes.
no,
She's a
but
little
it's like
kinky.
I'm an emotional person, so it's just like for me, I'm like I gotta feel like we connected. I gotta feel like you care. If I don't feel that, I'm like, okay, yeah, everything is real about hormones, but I'm like at this point, no, because to me it's saying you trying to use me. That's what it equates to in my mind. So that's what stops me from getting oh baby baby. I'm like, wait a minute.
Bring her some coffee and she'll feel like you care, and
Yeah.
then stick it between her toes and she'll be happy. I'm
Mm.
telling you.
That toe part is a lie. That's a trick from the pit.
It's
And I'm
not
like,
true.
maybe and I think I was like, because when I told him and he was just taken back, like, and maybe I said it too harshly, but I'm just like, okay, first of all, wait a minute, what are you doing? I'm just
Mm,
like, this whole thing is not working for me. Like, I'm like, you ain't tried to butter me up. You ain't tried to wine me and that. You just, what you think this is just a one whole stop shop? I'm like,
sticking and moving. Why can't I stick and move?
I'm like, you can stick and move. You can stick and move wherever you want to. It just won't be no sticking and moving over here.
Don't be like that.
And he looked at me. He was like, you serious? Dead serious. And I'm like, it has nothing. I'm like, if we could have grown and gradually got to that point, but I'm like, I don't just wake up, oh, I'm at that point. No, you got to put some work in. You got to put some elbow grease into this bad boy. See what I'm saying?
With that right there. You got to put
some elbow grease. You got to put some work.
You got to put your foot up in this.
Work.
Kill me. Pull my soul out.
You got to put some work in it. And the work does not come with taking your clothes off. Let me tell you, 90% of the work is here. It's here. So that 10%, listen, I'm so good on that too. It's not even funny. So listen, save your energy, save your tic tacs. Work. We gotta, we gotta work it out the correct way. So don't go just trying to. I'm like, what are you trying to test drive a car or something?
I'm gonna put it all up there. I'm gonna jump into it.
I'm like, no, you ain't jumping into.
He gonna lose his whole. It was just like
you ain't jumping into this.
And the lady, she was like this sex goddess, and so she picked up this guy at this bar or whatever. Well, he picked her up rather, and so he wanted to go back to the room. So he went back to the room with her and stuff. And so she was on top of him. Right? Yeah, she was on top of him. And she was like, say you belong to me. He was like, I belong to you. Say you belong to me. She said, say you belong to whatever her name is, And so he was saying it. And the whole while, her body was sucking him up inside of her. It was so cool. I was like, oh. And then after a while, it sucked him all the way up. He was gone.
Wow. See, also, fellas, that's what y'all be meaning when y'all be like, oh, she done sucked you up in there, But here's the thing. I'm like, okay, know who you like before you come, because everybody ain't on all that. Like I say, I don't try to put on a role. How I am is how I am. And I'm not afraid to tell you, yeah, no, fam, you got to slow that way down. You got to slow that down by some months and some years. You got to slow that. You got to slow it down.
Yes.
And if that's too long, I'm okay with that because there's somebody else out there that you can walk out the door and they gonna be ready. I'm just not that person. I'm just not that person. So I'm like, you got people throwing it at you left and right. Go ahead and catch you one or two. You got options out there. So no harm, no foul. But if you are with somebody and you care about them and you feel like their sex is whack for whatever reason, if they worth holding on to, then I'm sure you're gonna find.
No, don't do that. Don't set yourself up like that. Listen, when you do that silly stuff when you're in your 20s, because you're like, I really like this person. She's a good person. He's a good person. When you get in your 30s and stuff, you be like, wait a minute. Well, no.
I'm trying to keep some folks.
No, I'm knocking right at. I got about 4 more months before I hit big old 40, and I be damn if I sit up there and settle for some whack ass sex. It's just not happening.
But you can teach each other like what you want.
No. If I teach you, man, thank God he got great direction. See, sometimes you got to deal with an actor. And then maybe, but
you can teach them like what you want, because it's like what works for you and what turns you on with this person,
You can talk about it. You can talk. But no, I shouldn't have to go through a whole teaching class. I haven't had to teach. I've told him what it is that I like and what I don't like.
But that still can be considered teaching or giving instructions. But you still communicating what you like.
It's no way in hecky dog that after if I give, you should be an automatic A student with me. You should be college ready. It shouldn't even be you still in preschool talking about, wait, can you please repeat that? No, I'm not repeating anything. No, we adults. If I tell you one time, move. That's what you should do. Not, wait. Can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear that the first time. Wait, how do you, because I was watching this video. I'm not in that video. I'm right here in the room with you. No.
Well, I think that if the person is worth it and you care about them, then you guys can work it out and explore each other and get to know what each other likes. Because I think that people go into relationships, and having sex based upon your past sexual experiences, and just what worked for Bonnie may not work for doggone it Clara. So it's just like you got to figure out what Clara like, because those are two different women. And even with women, it's like even the way you kiss a person, it's like everybody does not like the same thing. So what worked with Jack may not work with Jim. So it's like, okay, figure me out. Like try to figure out what it takes to get me going. Don't sit up here and think, oh well, I'm an A plus, I'm an A student in calculus, but then you fail geometry, because it's math, but it's two different concepts to the math. So the techniques that you're using and strategies that you're using for calculus are not the same ones that you use for geometry. Same with women. Oh, I'm on it, y'all.
They just got lost. They was like, "What's the calculus?" I thought we was talking about. She said, geometry.
Yes,
and I'm take these notes down.
Right. No. So it's two different techniques, two different strategies, same math, but two totally different strategies and two different techniques. So just like with men and women, everybody, you're different. Learn me, explore who I am, get to know who I am. Don't assume that I'm going to like what everybody else like, because I'm not going to assume that you like. If you don't like it, hey,
do what you like.
When you like it. So do what y'all like with each other, but I don't, you should.
This is I had to dealt with.
And when we return, we're gonna get into our next hot topic. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time.
I get so lonely, can't let no anybody love me. You are the one that lives in me, my dear. I should never feel lonely. You don't ever wanna spend some time. I want your love in every drop of a dime. You see me calling, you should come running. Quit all that stalling, my body's calling. I got now time. What about our time? This could be so perfect. One hell of a night. Think you got a secret ease. Any call in my club. I just wanna slow this on you, baby. We can turn it up. You had your chance, no second chances. This love I have is not for play. Under no circumstances, I'm in need of romancing. Pick up the phone, 'cause I get so lonely. Can't let no anybody love me. You are the one that lives in me, my dear. I should never feel lonely. Lately your love has been on my mind. Obviously busy, I wanna unwind. Fantasizing, thinking about you. Imagine all I could. Anticipating is about to go down. I get so lonely. Don't leave me waiting up for you. I get so lonely. You had your chance, no second chances. This love I have is not for play. Under no circumstances, I'm in need of romancing. Pick up the phone, 'cause I get so I get so
Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time, on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. And sitting next to me, we have my co-host, my partner in crime, sizzling, sexy, simply, author, actress, businesswoman, playwright, sex kid. Hey, E, how you doing?
I'm great, girl.
Good.
Deliciousness. Oh, tight.
Clearly, I didn't know what I signed up for
Yeah, you
today.
didn't.
Clearly, I did not
Ladies
know.
and sitting, you all, when I tell you the Lord is good,
Yes, all the time. Hallelujah.
God is good all the
All
time.
the
Let me tell
time.
you, we're going to raise an offering
Raise it
after this.
today.
You all, we have with us tonight, we have
Mm.
actor. Lord,
I'm wonderfully well. Thank you so much.
good. Thank you so much for joining us. You all, I'm going to do my best to be professional. You know, tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how they can get in contact with you.
My name is Mel Roberson. I'm an actor and author, a Amazon 4-time best-selling author. And I think my most important job, though, is being a father to my two wonderful daughters. That's the most important thing for me in life. To get in touch with me and what I say adds value. I am on a Facebook. You just type in Mel Roberson. You can find my I hate to say fan page, but my public figure page. Yeah. And on Instagram and Twitter, I am the Total Gent. TheTotalGent.
That's an interesting name. What?
Looking for something that was universal for my branding and all of the things that I do. I mean, I only mentioned a few things that I sing, and I believe in being a gentleman at all times. And what that means, because I'm guessing the nature of your show now. I mean, I've listened a few times, but you know what a gentleman does in public and what a gentleman does in private is appropriate at all times. So some things that are done in private are appropriately done in private.
So can you tell us, are you working on anything? What do you have coming up?
I am working on my MBA. I just registered for my final 2 classes for my MBA. I will be done in February. I've already been on a few TV shows. I've been on Chicago PD a few times. I've been on The Empire. I've been on The Shy. Got movies on Amazon and YouTube and Netflix and stuff like that. Equiano wrote a play called The Penis Monologue.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
And he's writing something else. He hasn't told me exactly what it is, but we might be going up in December with the same all-star.
So now, how do you prepare for a role? How do you mentally?
For me, yeah, it just kind of depends on the role. You know, some roles I'll down. Like I don't take every role. A good man in the internet and the world probably know him. He did Black Coffee. He did Black and Privileged on Netflix. There have been some roles that I wanted to do or felt that I could deliver it in a way that he needed to. So it just kind of depends. My memory is pretty good. You know, as a spoken word artist, I like to perform my pieces. So I memorize the majority of my pieces. I hate to kind of read my pieces. So my memory and the character development has a lot to do with the backstory of the character, what they're surrounded. If I haven't been given one of the character, I get the approval of the director, and I create.
How long have you been?
But professionally, I've been acting since I think 2010, maybe a little bit before that, 2000, maybe 2004. I don't know. That's a great question. My youngest daughter is 17. So,
How did you get started? What caused you to start acting?
Oh God. Mm. Friend named Yatasha Womack. my little brother and her little brother are best friends. And she called her little brother and told him to get in touch with me to be in a play, not a play, a film called Love Shorts back in the day. And she was like, "Oh, you got great personality." I was like, I'll do it because it's you. You know what I mean? And that was the only reason that I did this film, is because, you know, of my love and respect for her. Our families are really close. The American Black Film Festival down in Miami. They're like, oh, are you coming? And I'm like, for story short, it won a bunch of awards. About a year later, a friend of mine said they need poets for this play. And I do spoken word poetry. That was a passion of mine. It still is a passion of mine. I go audition for this play, and they hand me a script after I audition and do poetry. I was like, "Why are you handing me a script?" They were like, "Oh, you know, this young lady said you'd be good." Unbeknownst to me, one of the people that was helping with casting was in the film that I was in. We weren't in the same scene, but she was in the film that I was in, and she told the director, "This guy's a good actor." So they hand me this script. I'm like, "Here we go again. Somebody trying to get me to do some stuff I don't want to do, to lead in the play." And that's kind of all she wrote. I did that play with Naima Dawson back in the day. It was called And Then There Was Poetry. And ever since then, you know,
You are now looking back. Do you think that you would have started sooner, or do you feel like
I feel
this was the
that
right time?
everything happened, things that I could have done, but opportunities only present themselves. It's kind of like the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And had I mean, do I love acting? Yes. Do I wish I would have started earlier? Maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't be on the path that I'm on now. Maybe I wouldn't have had the experiences. Maybe I would have given up because I wasn't mentally ready. So I don't do the to go back and change the past. Nah. Everything is presented itself in a way that
So what word of advice would you give someone that is striving to break into the industry? Okay.
I did a lot of theater, and that plays to my benefit. I'll never forget the first time I was on Chicago PD, and like we would do stuff, and the guys, they were like messing up. What's that line again? And all that other. Now, mind you, these are the stars of the show, so they have a lot of scripts and they're filming every single day. And I just had my little minute and a half scene. The director came while they were changing camera angles and all that other stuff. When somebody with a theater background is here, because you guys don't. It's like one take. That's all you get. So again, it depends on what part of the industry they want to get into. Before I would make ready, my personal opinion, that wants to act should have some theater experience, though, because there's nothing like it. Take some classes, find a mentor, study breakdown, study scripts, work on your character development, have some monologues on deck at all times. You never know when an audition or something is going to present itself. And then do stuff that is like out of character for you. So, I've been working on developing a Jamaican accent and a British accent. So if I, just work on stuff. Do I?
You look a little British.
Really?
No,
What makes me
you got a whole
okay? Well, thank you.
Well, do me a favor
Yes.
again. Tell everyone how they can get in contact with you via your social media.
My social media is The Total Gent on Instagram, The Total Gent, or Facebook.com/The Total Gent is my page on there. And it's the same on Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter or Snapchat. I'm primarily on Instagram.
Mr. Mel Roberson, we're going to take a short musical break. And when we return, we're going to have our next guest, and then we're going to get back into our hot
What about the
topic
juicy
drop.
stuff? I ain't get to do the juicy stuff.
Always.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right.
strengthening relationships
make it look
and
so
families.
easy. I can't say you a dime, you're a 20 piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Yeah. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. No. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clone on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clone on, girl. Why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. The guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Put your hair done, nails done. When you put your grown lips so good. It's something about you. When you put your grown why you gotta look so good? When you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Or when you're at the job, just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club, turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting them wrong, wanna know why you look so good, good. With your hair done and your nails done, when you put the clothes on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
Back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay, and sitting next to me, we have my co host, my partner in crime, sizzling, sexy, simply E. This woman, playwright, sex kitten. Yes. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. That's hey, how's it going? Keep me lifted and handsome men up in here. But you know what? I'm gonna bring it back down a notch. We have our guest for tonight, author, actress. We have Mr. Mel Roberson. How you doing tonight, Mel?
I am well, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, you guys. We talked to Mel the last section. But Mel, do me a favor, tell everybody again a little bit about yourself and how they can get in contact with you via social media.
THETOTALGENT on /the total gent.
Sitting on my scarf. You know, y'all see everything, so I don't want y'all to think that I, had a wedge. Well, I did earlier. I'm gonna tell y'all a nice little secret. You know, sometimes them, you have the wrong underwear on.
The thong.
Baby, let me tell you something.
Bro.
I'm sorry, y'all, but that was just I had to let y'all know that that's not what I was doing. But I will, excuse myself if I have to and say, you know what, you all charged to my getting
Adjusting her thumb.
my scarf. No, I wasn't this time. Now we try to do right. Sitting next to Mr. Mel Robeson, we have public speaker, Mr. Adonis Johnson. How you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Good. Speak into the mic so everybody can hear you. Adonis, do me a favor. Tell everyone about yourself, how they can get in contact with you, and what you got going on.
All right. I'm an entrepreneur. I own multiple businesses throughout the United States. I'm an author, self-help teacher, transformation coach. Currently, I'm working in the CPS school systems as a vendor. My book, which is I Am My Life Coach, which is translated in Spanish, an old edition, as well as a workbook. How you can get in contact with me is Invisible Crown, INC, on Instagram and on Facebook. It's I Am a Life Coach. You can reach me there. You can type in Invisible Crown and it'll pop up.
So now with you being a public, what word of advice would you give to people to get over that fear? Because you tell somebody to stand up in front of a room and say something, listen, they would rather, right. So how can they conquer that fear?
You conquer the fear by speak from that place. That's your foundation. So what I take out to the audience infrastructure, at that point you become established and everything else just flows.
Well, you make it seem so easy because people, they stand up. Some people in church, they can't even testify. And I'm like, now, I saw her last night. So she need to quit acting like she's shy. But, but to just stand up and just even your comfort zone, just to stand up, and that's next level. It doesn't matter what you're saying. You could have read your script or you just have to read from something, but people are afraid. Like, you're intimidated because of people looking at you.
Well, I think that you can't fake the truth. You got to live the truth and be the truth. Some things you have to act in terms to get a role, but some things comes naturally. So if me being a public speaker, I'm here to help people.
Okay.
But in order for me to reach people, I must first reach myself and let them see that I'm a real person and I can identify with whatever it is they might be going through.
Let them use you. Now, how can they grab? You say you've written a book?
Yeah, I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's called I Am My Life Coach. Or they can go to my website, which is www.IamMyLifeCoach.com.
You guys, we're going to definitely have their information posted on our page. Adonis Johnson, again, tell them how they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at Adonis Invisible Crown, or you can go to Coach. You Google that, I'll pop right up. It's a public page. Just click and follow, and I have a lot of live.
Okay, you guys, we're going to go take another short musical break. And when we return, guys, listen, niceness is over. Ashes, because we're going to try our next hot topic when we return. You're listening to the Jaye Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families. One conversation.
Is that anything you want? I'm only here to please you. Baby, you're in my command. Hey, your kiss sends me a shot of dopamine. Oh no, I never had an interest in love until I met you. And I don't know if it's real or is it just a phase I go through, but I feel that it's true. We don't need no labels, baby. What we got is something different. We don't need no labels, baby. Lady, we don't need no labels to show something special. For sure, for sure. I don't feel it's a one night stand. It's that look you in your eyes. Take love in paradise. A one night stand. It's that sweep your feet. Give you everything you need. Love. That's what I'm feeling. It's that don't pick up the phone, 'cause we wanna be alone. Love. And I never thought I'd feel this way till you came along and proved me wrong. Oh, no, I never had an interest until I met you. And I don't know if it's real, or is it just a phase I'm going through. But I feel that it's true. We don't need no labels, baby. What we got is something different. We don't need no labels, baby. Lady, we don't need no labels to show that what we have is something special. For sure. Since you came in my life, I see so clearer now, yeah. You're so special, no need.
Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time. Woo, Lord!
I told you I got a good memory.
Yeah, you guys, I'm your host, Jay. And sitting next to me, we have my co-host, my partner in crime, sizzling, sexy, simply E, author, actress, businesswoman, playwright.
Boom, 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 boom.
Look, that's
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, wait.
Boom,
Good jerk.
boom,
Yes.
boom.
and
I DJ too, so
But,
it's,
hey, that's what I'm talking about.
now sitting next to sizzling, sexy,
Yes.
simply E,
Yes.
we have actor,
Mm.
author,
Mm.
Mr. Mel Robeson, the total gent. How you doing tonight?
I am wonderful, thank you.
We want to thank you for joining us.
No problem.
We
Can
really
you thank me by turning the heat?
That big
You know,
I was burning stuff right now.
Right. I'm just
And I'm
just
blind.
take
Don't
you. You
look
probably have
directly
to just
into
take
it.
your jacket off. You know that's okay, but I'm over here freezing. Everybody else may be look how they can pick up a copy of your books and your projects that you've been in.
My books are on Amazon, and there's one of them right there. And I'm on social media, The Total Gent, TheTotalGent, and Facebook.com/The Total Gent as well.
And next to Mr. Mel Robeson, we have public speaker and author, Mr. Adonis Johnson. How you doing tonight?
What's good? I'm great.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you as well for joining us on tonight. Tell people how they can get in contact going on and how they can pick up your project.
Yeah, you can go on social media and reach me on at Invisible Crown INC on ING, which is Instagram. I also have a personal page there as well, Adonis Invisible Crown. If you go over on Facebook, you can find me there under or I am a life coach. You type that in, I come right up on social media. Public speaker, entrepreneur, thing that I do. So get at me and let me help you build your not build your dream, live your dream. Why you building it? Peace and blessings on that.
Well, you all will definitely we have their information posted on our page at the J Spot, also on Twitter at J Spot, also on Instagram at the J Spot Radio, and Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, this portion of the J Spot is brought to you by Product Max Herbal Toothpaste.
Yes.
Product Max is a new herbal
It's
toothpaste
ridiculous.
company that believes in old-fashioned values, just as our ancestors did. Product Max, they believe that. Definitely check this toothpaste out. It has no fluoride. That right there makes this product hands down one of the safest and best products out there on the market. So compare a tube to your national leading brand. You guys, we have testimonials all over our social media as well as their site raving about this product. So you can order the product at proditmax.com and you want to use reference code J, and that's JAYE. Guys, okay, we done with all the deep stuff. Get right into our next hot topic. How do you know you're not ready to date? How do you know that? Start with you, Mel, because you look like you to date.
Okay, so let's start with an operational definition of dating, right? There's when you say dating, do you mean going out with the intent for it to be
In a relationship.
a relationship? Because you know what I mean? It's like some people call dating, they say, well, I'm just dating right now, meaning that they're dating multiple people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or do you mean dating with the intent to find something? I need to know which one you talking about first.
So we've decided there is a such thing as the new dating. And I'm glad that you brought that up because this bull junkie is just bull junkie. So you have to determine, that's a discussion. I feel like you have to have that discussion with each other so that you can make sure that you're on the same page. Your definition of dating means the same thing as my definition of dating, because again, you're talking about dating and I may think that dating was a relationship, because before we started the J Spot, dating was a relationship to me. But let me tell you, Mel, these folks set me straight. So cause I stay in my feelings. So, you know, when I got that understanding, I'm just like, oh, okay, so we not in a relationship because we date?
Y'all just dating.
Right. I didn't know that though. I think that's
men versus women.
No, it's not a men.
Or it's a southern
so,
versus
or you could say dating or seriously dating. Dating.
See, that's some bullshit.
No. I'm just saying. So here's the thing. If you don't have the groundwork or the definition or the expectation of what this word means, we could be saying the same word to each other, but having a different understanding of it. So that's why the first place I started was, what do you mean? So I'm guessing based off of your old school traditional values, you mean, how do you know when you're not ready to date or find something
or
serious?
just entertain anybody? I mean, because some people may say anything as just casually dating, but it's like we've messed this whole thing up. It's so freaking complicated to just meet somebody and date, because now you have to break down. Okay, well, let me see. Okay, he said he's looking for this. No, he's not looking for that. So we're not.
Well, see, I stay away from people that do that right there. I recommend that when you start doing too much, you complicate it and you done already poison what could have been possibly good. You should be experiencing a person being themselves.
So how do you know you're not ready to date? How do you know you're not ready to share your space or just be bothered with anybody?
Well, that's the accountability of self-control. That's the accountability of where you stand at. When you bring yourself out into the world, you don't go out looking for someone. You just go out being who you are, representing whom you are.
So now, do we honestly say, you know what? I'm not even in the mood to be bothered with anybody. Do we honestly tell people that?
Yes.
Because you know I was just like, listen, okay, I'm disgruntled. I don't want to go out with you. I don't want your little chicken dinner. I don't want your little I don't want nothing, because I'm not in a good place, you know, right now. So I'm like, I knew I was just mad and steaming, and I'm like, you know, it is what it is. You can miss out on your blessing.
But see, if a person come around you, they're gonna experience that while you being you.
They ain't gonna have to experience, because I'm gonna tell them, I don't listen, fam. You're gonna have to.
And
move
thank you
around.
for that. I did a Facebook Live not too long ago, and I talked about some of the reasons that relationships fail. And the number one reason that relationships fail is because of unmet expectations. And if people are not clear in their communication about what their expectations are, so there are two things to that. Number one, being clear in your communication, but the other person may not even know what you're expecting. You know what I mean? Or what your expectations. So you have these unwritten or unsaid expectations, and I'm expecting you to do all of these things and you're not doing them, and I'm mad, and you don't even know that you're supposed to be doing these things for me.
Oh God, tell me about it.
When we have these unmet expectations, we get mad, we hold grudges, we do all of these things, and the person is not even aware of it. So in the whole dating thing, I have to set my expectations up front because at 43, I'm not about to play with you. I'm about to say, this is how I feel. This is what I believe in. This is, these are these things because I need to know if you got these deal breakers. I don't need 6 months from now for you to present my deal breakers. And I knew what they were 6 months ago.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? But guys, talking about tonight, and tonight we're talking about being bitter and holding grudges in a relationship. So now, has someone hurt you to let it go? Even though some of these hurts may have happened ages ago, you just can't let it go. Do you make every hurts and pain? Is it hard for you to let your guards down? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, tonight's show is definitely for you. So, again, tonight we're talking about being bitter and holding grudges in a relationship. So, let's just start off with what is being bitter? What do you guys think that, in your own words, what is being bitter, E?
Take that, bro.
Nah, you go ahead, dog.
Yeah, go ahead. One of y'all go ahead, take that.
Being bitter is an emotion that you're acting out that pretty much shows that you haven't conquered self-control over self.
What about you, E?
She
said E.
Oh, E. Oh.
You don't sound nothing like that.
It got an E in it. That counts. Well, being bitter, you internalize everything and you can't get over things. You still holding on to every little thing that has hurt you, whatever, and you're not able to move on into a reflections and stuff. So I think that's what being bitter is.
And Mel, what is being bitter to you?
I don't know. I'm not bitter.
You not bitter, you better. He not bitter, he better. That's how you know he Corey friend.
No.
You know.
So I mean, being bitter is holding on to things that no longer serve a purpose to you.
No, don't read
It's gonna be a
that.
short show. real
What's
quick.
your version of being bitter?
Me?
You got a lot of power here.
You bitter?
Yeah.
You got a lot of power.
You should hold on to
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
Yeah.
We gonna work on this.
according
We're gonna
to
treat it today. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix that.
see, and this is the thing. I'm okay. I will sacrifice myself and put myself out there
Mm-hmm.
because okay. And that's a wonderful place
Petty
to
eye.
live.
Is
If you've never visited Petty Island, you are definitely missing out. Okay, so that's pettyisland.com /JAYE. Okay, so
She's there.
meet me there, okay? Because I stay in my listen.
This is where her
Dude,
feelings
dude,
are.
is there one way to get to that island?
Absolutely.
One way in, one way out.
One way out.
I'll say, I know.
You know what?
How you
Everybody
get there.
can't.
You gotta parachute out.
All
And get
G5s
left.
can get
It's
there.
it's not for everybody. See, it's not for those.
Why are you bitter?
I'm gonna tell you why.
She gonna tell her.
According
tell
to
you
an
why.
online source, being bitter is a chronic and pervasive state of holding resentment. It is regarded as one of the most destructive and toxic human emotions. Now, what causes some people to be bitter?
Didn't I just say holding on to things that no longer serve you?
That's what she
I
did.
did
You
say
said,
that.
you had said that right
just
there.
So, I had to have the
You did say
online
that.
source to verify what you said. So now, what causes some people to be bitter? That's what we want to talk about. What causes some people to be bitter?
Tiny penises.
That's what we gotta deal with.
If my daughters are watching,
You got
Daddy is sorry. I
I
did not know. I know y'all are grown, but Daddy is sorry. Okay.
That's right. You said your youngest was 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be bitter.
It could be a variety of things. It could be unmet expectations. Going back to that, it could be, it could be adultery. It could be any of those things. that somebody chooses to hold on to that no longer serves them.
Mhm.
You know, it could be you didn't wash the dishes, or, you know, I wanted flowers, or there's no cookie cutter.
So, is anybody on this panel holding on to any bitterness towards anyone? And
Mm-mm.
why haven't you let it go if you are holding on to some bitterness?
You got
It's
it don't
three.
serve a three.
Right.
Well, I mean, well, you always here. You
But
know what I mean?
Right.
I've spent. I'm sorry.
So, am I the only?
yes, you're the only one that's bitter.
Right.
First of all, I was delivered last week. Okay.
Well,
And
So,
delivered to Bitter
what
Island.
comes from being bitter?
Yeah. What? How does that serve you?
I'm
What
so
does
glad
it
that you
produce?
guys asked that.
It's-
Bitterness, it produces the ability to just
Oh,
think all types of negative things. And you know what? The thing inside, you have to get it out. You have to release it, because that's the only way you're going to free yourself.
so what's
So you have to act. Sometimes you have to act that bitterness out. I'm just saying.
okay?
Sometimes
So
you
I'm
gotta
gonna
act it
I'm
out.
gonna bring a copy of my book to you. It's called I Am My Life Coach. The most important part of that book is my truth, and it's like when you speaking your truth, it only applies to you. So what you put outwardly, you're projecting your own self onto others.
Hmm.
So just like my counterpart said right now at the very beginning, it's like it don't have no results to it. You don't get any type of fulfillment from it. It's temporary
Be
energy, artificial.
being bitter or angry at someone else is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. It makes no sense. Because why you up here being bitter and angry? They have moved on with their life. It
Absolutely.
them. So
Absolutely.
let it go.
I'm gonna have to get my voice
You
up a
know,
little bit.
sometimes it's, and I'm going to be devil's advocate. Letting go is often easier said than done. Somebody can totally dog you and play you to the left, and I'm going to tell you, "Oh, just let it go." Okay, well, sometimes it takes a minute to let that bull junkie go. You just don't worry, go to sleep. Oh, wake up. I let it go. I'm good. How do you let it go?
is you let it go. You know that little app they got say let go. You let it go, like literally.
This is bitter.
You let it
You
go.
let it go.
You don't hold on to. I think, but
That's right.
you've over time dealt with, and like we all have all dealt with pain, but you've over time dealt with it that you really may not know how to let it go. So you
And
just
that's what
have
we got to
stacked it
help the
on,
people.
stacked it on, stacked it on, and stacked it on,
So let's
and
help the
it's
people.
caused you to just be bitter. So when you do come into a relationship or situation, and this person may have, wine dined you and then treated, acted a fool or whatever, it's just comparisons to everything else. And so that's just more stuff to add onto the sandwich, this bitter sandwich. And then you eat it. You keep on ingesting this stuff opposed to saying, you know what, I'm not gonna eat this no more. I'm good on this.
But I hear what you're saying, but again, for people that are really going through this, I mean, it's like to just say, "Oh, I'm gonna let it go." I mean, again, it's so much easier said than done. I
It
mean,
is
like
not.
Well, okay.
Facebook.
Let
What
me
do you
speak to
guys
that. Let
think?
me speak to that. It just begins with the decision to let it go, right? Once you make the decision to let it go, then you get lighter. Now, for me, I've had relationships where after them, I needed therapy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I thought I was going to get married, and I thought all these, I was going to spend the rest of my life with this lady, and all of this stuff. So I go to like there is a process, but still there's a difference between just because we say let it go, we're not saying that you forget or that it doesn't take time to heal or all of that. If you break your arm, it takes some time for that arm to heal. But you have to be involved in the things that are going to contribute to that healing. It doesn't include going back to the person that that is continuously dogging you out. She put you through, or jumping right into the next relationship, you know what I mean, and bringing your brokenness to somebody else when you haven't even worked on yourself. We're not is going to be the detriment of whatever it is that you're involved with and your future relationships.
Now, you guys listen. Bitterness comes from hurt, and some people can hurt you. So I'm talking to the people that have really some things some people have just really, really done you some type of way, and it can take you out if you let it. If you continue to harp on it and focus on it, just to kind of piggyback on what Mel was saying, I know I see some of the people saying, "Oh, why is she bitter and this and that?" You all, I'm just talking bull junk. I'm not bitter. I'm definitely in a great place because here's the thing: I know myself, so it's like if I don't feel like being bothered, if I need what I say is a relationship timeout, I know myself, so I know. Okay, listen, I'm not in position to deal with anybody right now. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna put myself on. I'm very self-aware. And then also, as Mel was saying, sometimes you need to talk to somebody. Listen, on a normal basis, my elevator does not go all the way up to the top. That's my normal. That's my level. I can't go too high. I can't go too low. I'm right there in the middle. And anything outside of that middle, I gotta get some things adjusted and some things tuned up. Listen, I know these folks is looking for me. Jamila, you need to make it your next appointment. No, I'm not making my next appointment because you're trying to fix me all the way. And some of the bull junk that I got in me, I like it. That's what makes me me. So you can't try to fix me all up because then I'm gonna be somebody else. So I gotta stay right here between the basement, the first and the second floor. So I'm good with where I am. Adonis, what you think about my diagnosis? Because you over there.
I'm thinking that you are 100%, but everything you just prescribed is for that individual, which is self. Before you can put expectations on someone else, you must put them on yourself first. So the reason why a lot of our people are going through the same recycling process is because they're putting false expectations on others and not putting any on themselves.
Now, let me help you out, guys. Here are a few tips on how to work through that process of letting go the bitterness. The first one, as it was already said, you got to make the decision to let it go. You got to just say to yourself, listen, I know this was some mess right here because this was some straight bull junkie right here. Whatever happened, listen, it is what it is. The second one is express your pain. A lot of times we be within that relationship or that breakup had no effect on you. They're going to end up having to give you a prescription if you don't acknowledge that you were hurt. I mean, we living in a day and time where people are
As all that, it makes you sick. You literally physically get
Physically,
sick. You do.
correct.
So you have to
Spirit,
just. I think you can have a moment where, yeah, you can be bitter, but I don't think you should stay. It's not healthy for you to stay into a bitter state or whatever because you will lose yourself, and sometimes that bitterness will cause you to lose your mind.
you got to forgive them and yourself. Forgiveness is for you. It's for your peace of mind. You got to realize that folks can care less about having hurt you, how you feel, how you felt. They don't care.
I can
They don't.
never,
They don't care.
I can never really say I was ever really bitter. I just think I just didn't know, so I lacked understanding. So I was ignorant, and sometimes you can be lashing out and ignorant for the fear of not knowing what you think you should know or what your environment is inflicting on you to know. Like as a man, we should be the leader, but the leader is based on how you carry out the application of wisdom. If you have no understanding and you have no knowledge, then not understanding is comprehension. How about how you comprehended the information that you received? Knowledge is who it was coming from. Wisdom is the application, executing it. So as a man, we're based more so on how we perform outwardly.
So can bitterness affect relationships?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Because you holding on, you're gonna constantly compare this
of
person to the last
course.
person that hurt you, um, and that's the issue. You holding on, you haven't let go, and every time this person does something, they may
Trigger.
exactly
Yep.
trigger something. So they may
Yep.
scratch their ear a certain way that your ex scratched his ear, and you can't stand your ex. So now you see this person doing that, and it works your nerve because you just have not let go of anything, or you compare it even sexual wise. You'll compare something, and you really shouldn't. You should just let those things go, or you constantly bringing up this person's name to your with your guy or your girl. You so and so Angie used to do this, blah 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 blah, and she like, why are we constantly talking about Angie? You always bringing up Angie or whatever. So sometimes you have to first Think about the things that are coming up out of your mouth.
Unforeseen trauma.
Yeah, and then don't bring that onto your new relationship. Rachel King says it's about self mastery. You cannot allow another human being force you to a place to place you. Wait. Force you to place harm upon yourself. You are hurting yourself with your own emotions. They sleep well and live well while you are creating bitterness upon your life every day. And that's true.
Okay. So now, what is a grudge? What is a grudge?
I'm sure you have the internet definition. So would you give us the internet definition, please?
For 500.
You don't even have to ask twice.
500 for grudge.
According to an online source, a grudge is a persistent feeling of ill or resentment resulting from a past insult or injury. Now, y'all, this is so flipping powerful. Negative feelings and emotions, y'all, this stuff can kill you. It's persistent. I mean, it's like it's constantly have that type of control over you. But again, some people can do some things that are so jacked up that it's like you have a hard time. I've talked to so many people, and it's just like people are like, okay, I understand. Logically, I hear what you're saying, but how? How do I let it go? How do I not hold a grudge against this, such and such? How do I not hold a grudge? How do I not be in this ill feeling place? How do you not?
So I think what it ultimately boils down to is what are your non-negotiables, right? So if it's something in a relationship that you can't get, I'm not gonna be able to get past this, and I have to move on because this was so traumatic that I can no longer continue in this fashion. If it's something that you can get over, not that it won't take work in order to get over it and be able to let it go and put it past you. I've been in relationships where things have been done and it's like, man, this was really damaging to the relationship, but was this enough for me to say everything that I believe about you at your core, I'm willing to let go and no longer deal with you? And in some cases those have been yes, like, yeah, I ain't doing this, G. Like, it's a wrap. But in some cases it's like, okay, here's not only a teachable moment, express what love really is. And ultimately, love is the decision to make a commitment and being committed to that decision. So if I made the decision to make a commitment and I'm committed to that decision and I'm going to stick this out, we're going to have difficult times. Nobody is perfect. You gonna mess up. I'm gonna mess up. How big of a mess up was it? Am I able to eventually get over it? And is that person committed to help one if they don't? And not that they necessarily have to participate, but if they don't acknowledge it and ask for forgiveness, or if they think that we'll see it from your side, then at some point that's probably going to drive a deep wedge in your relationship.
I think too, like you said, if they don't see what they've done wrong, and the last time we saw each other, we met a traumatic relationship, like I had stitches on my face, it was really bad or whatever. When I called Jaye up from the hospital, she was, we were in tears because we had never expected this to happen for this person. And so when I let him go that moment, but he had the audacity to call and ask me for a massage because it's not always forgiving. And I had to let you go because there's nothing there for me. I see who you are. You show me exactly who you are, and I'd be dang if I'm a fool to believe, okay, well, you have to see when they show you themselves, believe it.
And just because you forgive them don't mean it's cool. Exactly. That means you forgiven them.
Exactly.
There's a saying, the axe forgets, the tree remembers.
Exactly.
Right. So here it is, you the axe, and you done chopped a big piece out of me, and the axe is like, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I still got a piece of trunk that's missing now.
Right. Exactly.
And can't nobody just super glue that back on.
Exactly.
And again, with dealing with all of this, you guys, these negative emotions and feelings, it can cost you physically, kill you. Now I know you like, okay, now, so how can this kill me? Here's how. Because you're holding on to all of this bitterness and you're holding these grudges, turns to stress, headaches, your eye twitching, throbbing, you're having chest pains, tightness in your, that tightness all back here in your neck and your shoulders and in your temple and all of this other stuff, and you losing sleep and you just joke. Never let somebody have that type of hold and power over you. You see this stuff, I'm telling you, I'm just like, you just sitting here, your head throbbing and just, all of this, all of that. Listen, it's not worth it, because while you're going through all of that,
They sleeping
baby,
good.
they moving on. They done
Well,
moved on. They in Candyland and candy licking and all of this other stuff, and you out here looking like you stuck on stupid and dangling on dumb. It's just like you out here. Well, I
well,
love him. I love her.
I feel
Okay.
like you guys are talking about me right now. And the reason I feel like you guys are talking about me is because there's something called mental illness. And if you don't, well, I haven't said it, but I done been in 5 psych wards. I done went into a 5-day coma. And it was all because of lack of understanding who I was to represent whom I am. And when you connect with self, then everything that you guys are discussing right now, I was the victim. I was the person. But yeah, I was out doing the crimes and my hands was on everything, but I had no understanding, no knowledge. And I was self-taught. So I was progressing outwardly, cars and everything. But in terms of self-value, I didn't have self-love. I didn't have self-esteem. I'm a life coach. I'm encouraging other people to be accountable for themselves before they put accountability or evaluate someone else. You see, you right here, you domestic violence, or this person here, he don't have no money, he uses women, he's a womanizer. But to a person that you wasn't entering into that situation with or that relationship with, it say, well, why did you choose that? Why was why was he? You take just as much responsibility in your choices and your decision. See, there's always a flip side to the things that we look outwardly because we have to first find what we're looking for inwardly. So these are some of the studies that I have done that helped me craft the book that you see right now. And me coming back, the best value that I have is the person you see right now. But I never had this person. So,
And just to piggyback on what you said as far as mental illnesses, it's a lot of people out here that are dating and they have mental illnesses and they don't even realize that they have a mental illness. It's just like everything, when you like, oh, she's just crazy. He just no,
No, they
really,
no,
no,
that's
they
them.
really,
but
they real crazy for real. Like somebody needs to diagnose them, and you may need to talk to somebody. But again, like you said, if they're not aware of themselves, then they'll just think that, oh, she just mad because I left her, or he just mad, or no, really, it's something wrong with you. Like it's something literally
That's right.
wrong. And if you don't get help, okay, we're done, but you still need help because what
That's
you're
right.
doing, it ain't
Well, when a lot of women comes out of relationships and they seek counsel from the wrong people, they seek it from their girls, and they say before you get in another relationship, you need time to heal. As if time to heal is like, well, before you was by yourself, and you got into a relationship, was you ready? Do you know exactly what is it that you're bringing to the relationship more so than what you trying to receive from the relationship? That's what makes a relationship. It's an open end knowing what it is that I'm here to deliver, what type of woman I'm going to be in a relationship based on. Someone asked me, grown actually up here. He was older than me a little bit, and he said, "What makes me a man? What makes you a man? Because I hear you have a book and things like that." I said, "Well, it depends on the moment." He said, "What do you mean about the moment?" I said, "Based on every moment in this choice that I have in my life, how I respond in that moment dictates what type of man I'll be."
And see, and then you said that what type, don't take counsel from your girlfriends because they say you need time to heal. You do. You can't just be pulling all of that crap with relationship time out. You gotta take a time out to process all the stuff that has went wrong. Now, how long that time out is, it differs from person to person.
Okay.
But you do need a time out.
Do you need instructions for a relationship?
Yeah,
today?
you do.
So then if you healing and you constantly repeating, obviously this ain't the first individual you done
But
been
what if you're
involved
not repeating the same? It's different types of hurt, and it's different type of individuals, and it's different type of people that's no good. And then you dealing with the dude that got mental illness.
But then you're not
So
looking
it's
at yourself. You still
Right.
got to check yourself.
Well, that's where I was going with this, because if you carrying on, you leave one relationship because they failed in the area. You get in a new relationship, this guy didn't fail in that area, but
I totally
and then
agree,
you go
but
to another relationship, so you got a lot of casualties at that point.
But that's why you have to take that time out, because that time out process is for you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about letting somebody to adjusting and fixing whatever kinks it is with you. And I feel like in a relationship, that some of the times you're like, you know what? I'm to blame because I should have left a long time ago. I saw this was coming, but I still chose to move forward. So I got to take a little bit of this responsibility on what happened, because I saw it coming, but I chose to ignore the red flags and all of this other stuff. I wanted to just be all in love, and no, you should have left long yonder ago.
Well, my brother said at the very beginning, before we hit the hot topic,
and go ahead, Mel, because
it was about Mel said about dating, and you asked about what makes you date, and you start asking these questions. Questions only gonna give you an answer, and it could come out as the right answer, but it's not deeply rooted in the individual. So you only having a regular conversation,
right? But at least you have a start. Yeah. So we're supposed to be on the same page based upon that, and then you move forward based upon that answer. But who you turn out to be dating has nothing to do with us actually saying we're dating and we're in a committed relationship. We verbally agree to that.
I disagree. Same place. Not even the last person you was dating, just as, let's just say you as a woman, and the last man that you was dating, when you with another man, these are two different. Relationship is different with themselves and how they handle themselves from a physical standpoint to a mental standpoint, as well as emotional standpoint.
Absolutely. And that's why, again, you have to take your emotional, that's what time out, so that you can get to all that. Because if you're going around thinking that every woman is the same or every man is the same, you not ready. You're not ready to be dating. You not ready. You need to Netflix and chill by yourself. You don't need no company. Do not pass go. Do not let nobody in. You stay to yourself, because you are toxic and you are damaging people.
Sometimes into a good place and healing, the same toxic person reaches back out not to apologize. And that's true. You know, you're in a relationship, this person could be as toxic as all get out that you've ended a relationship with. A few weeks or months later, they come,
hey stranger,
I miss you. I just wanted to see how you was doing, because I knew you liked my vegetarian lasagna and stuff, because you were veterinarian and stuff. So I had made you this pot of some veterinarian lasagna.
A little time to heal.
Yeah, so I know I busted the windows in your car, but that was last year. Don't bring up old stuff.
I was going through something.
I'm okay. Find anybody like me. I hear that all the time from a certain ex of mine. I'd be like, thank God. Thank
Lord,
God.
Yes, please not. I don't want to do that.
Oh my goodness.
So let's look at a couple of things, right?
Break it down to us, preacher.
You know, I'm not a preacher. Let's start there.
We're not raising the offer for you.
Don't worry. I don't need an offer. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll take an offer.
So, all right. I'm not even going to circle back to the unmet expectations part. Where I want to go, right, is a lot of times we are looking for cookie cutter examples of, if this, and this is in place, then my relationship is perfect, or I'll be happy when I have this, and this. So many people don't realize that nobody else is responsible for their happiness except lived for them. So you're entering into a relationship with the expectations or the desire for somebody when you don't even know how to be happy by yourself. That is a recipe for disaster in and of itself right there. So now I'm bringing this, well, she has to do this, this, and this, and then I'll be happy. No, I need to be happy regardless of what she does. And then you have to look at what their upbringing was, what your upbringing was, and is there room for some type of way to meet in the middle if you don't see eye to eye on a particular issue. I'll give you a life example for me. I hate dirty feet in the bed.
Oh.
Like, if you don't walk around this house in house shoes, that's fine, because some people like to be barefoot, but don't bring no foot crumbs in my bed. That's
your feet off.
That's your feet. That's
really
a thing for me.
Yes.
But since that's a thing for me and it may not have been a thing for them, I got to realize, all right, have I expressed it? What was the compromise? And they've been living this way for 20 or 30 or however many years. And now, because they've entered into a relationship with me, I'm expecting an instant transformation because that's something that's important to me. And it might not have been an important thing. It might not have been a big thing for them. Like for me, like with one of my exes, she had a thing about leaving again. And sometimes if I'm on the go, I didn't do that. Right. And so I would have the drawers out. And one day, she just went ballistic, and it was because I left the drawer, and I didn't even know that was a thing, but it was a thing. So in relationships, we're constantly looking for this give and take, but without clear communication of what our expectations are, there's always going to be an issue. There's always going to be a grudge. There's always going to be some bitterness. There's always going to be these things, and you have to know what it is that you want, what you're looking for, and what you won't put. I want to be with somebody. I don't want to die alone. I want companionship eyes of their happy, because I've accepted something that I really didn't even want for the sake of not being.
That whole situation with me and the ex or whatever, and I went on my little social media, my dating site, and I put my profile back out there, and being one dude, and I just was like, I'm not feeling it, but I'll talk, whatever. And then this other guy tried to talk to me, and I was like, hey, I'm trying to figure out which the less of the two evils. Then the third one tried to talk, and I'm just like, period. It wasn't about the fun. I didn't want to be touched. I wasn't there. And I knew that. Though. I knew it. And then when I told them I'm good, I'm okay, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be in a relationship right now. I knew I didn't want to be. And I didn't want to be with them either, too. It wasn't just not by myself, but I didn't want to be with them. And then when I stopped looking, I found somebody. But two, I could talk to this person, like when you talked about having mental health issues and stuff, because I suffer from mental health issues and stuff. And so when you have those kind of conversations, and this person can accept it, because I'm like this, if you can't accept that I have nervous breakdowns every now and again or whatever, then, and I do. I was in a nut house on Labor Day. Was it Labor Day? I was in a nut house like, Jay, this is the number.
So I don't want to send or even meet someone that experienced or that has a possibility to experience what I experienced. I don't wish that on no one. So until I understand fully self-control, and I can fulfill my own purpose within myself and live in that space with peace, as my brother has mentioned, I don't want to ever trigger that. I attempted 2 failed suicides. That was me trying to take my own self out for lack of understanding. So now that I went and unlearned everything that I learned, which, by the way, that's what my book is about. I am a life coach. Y'all get that, right?
Absolutely.
And I unlearned everything that I learned. But every day I was telling myself, I am a life coach. I am a life coach. I am a life coach. You are not going to go to church and get understanding on finances. They're not there to teach you business. We are undeveloped spiritually. We are undeveloped from an educational standpoint. We are undeveloped from an emotional standpoint. We are undeveloped in regards to relationships, family. We undeveloped in communication.
Oh, yes.
We need to have effective communication. But that effective and all those things that I named starts within self. So if you ask me what I really invest in, I invest into human capital.
And you guys, and this is so like this conversation is so real. How many people really take the time to like this is the stuff that you need to be talking about on these first dates and all this
You
and that.
do.
Because here's
Man,
the
that's
thing.
drawing them
It's just
into you
like,
more.
you know what? But I'm like, I'm okay if this does not go into a second date. I have not wasted your time. You haven't wasted my time. This is the meat and potatoes of a person, but we want to sit here and oppress. I'm like,
It's because of the
listen, you
fear.
know,
People are so afraid that if I, say this, am I putting too much out on this first date or whatever? But if I don't let you listen, this is how I feel on certain things, whatever. If I just keep it all inside, then I'm gonna just be a gopher. I'm gonna just be a goofy, basically. Anything you do to
it's
me,
too
I'm gonna
much.
just deal with it. I'll bottle it all inside, and when I get home, I'm gonna call my girlfriends up and say, "Woo, woo,
You
woo,
see,
woo,
I'm
woo."
not worried about matter of me lying and me believing that it's true and I'm really lying.
But you're self-aware. But for the people that are not self-aware, they're lying to other people. So it's just like you're sitting up here pretending like you're somebody that you're not. I'm like, I often tell people, I'm like, listen, I have too many quirks to try. I do, but I know I'm extra.
You gotta know you. You know you.
You know, so I'm too extra to sit here
But
and
see,
pretend.
your
I
personality,
take my own coffee. I'm too extra to be trying to.
Is that extra? Is that just who you
that's
are?
that's a beautiful. I was just
That's
gonna
just
say
who you
that your
are.
That's who I
personality
am. But
is
again,
good.
it's too much to sit here and pretend like I'm not. Like,
But you have to be able to be yourself around your mate. I mean, seriously, if I can't be myself around you, then I'm not supposed to be with you. If you can't be yourself around me, then you shouldn't be with me.
See, speaking the way you speak, that's your purpose. That's your truth. So the way you are right now is a beautiful thing because we seeing you and you're not trying to be you. You're living in front of somebody. You're gonna sit up, and that's normally the person that don't get the job because they trying to sit here and they trying to prepare. They said you didn't make me feel like I don't want to come to work and feel like I'm working.
right? It's too hard to try to pretend to be perfect. And I'm like, I don't want to be perfect. I don't want to live through, be genuine, and let's just see what type of bull junkie. Because I feel like everybody brings a level of crazy compatible.
Yep.
Because
right.
yours may be, I'm like, whoo.
But it could be getting in the bed with your with your feet in the way.
Oh, I totally
And he go off,
I'm like that.
Man.
I
Get
will
them foot crumbs out my
listen.
bed.
I don't like a
lucky,
greedy person,
I have
so-
carpet, So when I'm in my bed, I have carpet. But when I go over my guy's house, the first thing I do, because he got hardwood floors, I dust my feet off because I don't walk around your
Put some house
apartment.
shoes on.
Exactly.
There is no house shoes
Don't
on
get
there. But
listen.
still,
You can't get in
take
my
the socks
bed.
off.
sometimes,
Listen, I have little toddlers with my little nieces. You know, they like to get out the bed and come running around. Come back here. I'll send you in an Uber home. Come back here so Auntie can wash your feet again. You just got out the bed. I told you not to get out the bed. I'm like, you know what? You got to send them back when they 5 or 6. So and then street clothes. Don't sit on my bed in your street clothes
my
like
grandma
that.
said
The bed
that.
is for pajamas.
grandma
So if
said
you
that.
don't have
hilarious.
your pajamas on, don't get in my bed. And people know that just takes me out my family, and they will come. I'm like, oh God, I just start seeing gray because I don't want you.
Now, I did that routine. I came into his place, whatever, just fresh from doing, I think, a massage, whatever. So I had on my regular clothes, and I had sat on his bed, and he was like, "Whoa, get up off my bed!" And I was like, "Huh?" Because in my place, I'm like, I can sit in my bed, so I'm okay. But then I'm funny. I don't allow my children to hop in my bed, knowing they just came fresh from school or whatever, or you just came fresh from work. No. Take off your clothes, whatever, before you come in my bed. So I do most definitely understand when it comes to the street clothes. Hey, Darcy.
Listen, how forgiving are you all? Do you forgive easily or
Crime.
Well, when I go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll forgive, but the allowance of you back in my life or on a certain level depends on the level of what the what the crime was. You know what I mean? Because I'm not perfect and I've done things in the past myself in relationships. So and sometimes I look at it, I was like, this is just the karma of
Karma
3
comes.
relationships ago when I did the exact same thing. So you know what? It's me. You won't do it again. I love you. Let's get past it. But then there are some things that I'm not always quick to forget or move on or allow for that person to continue to be a part of my life depending on the transgression.
What about you, Adonis? Are you a forgiver?
I'm definitely I live in humility, so I speak from humiliation. Based on the experience I experienced in my life and the friends and the family and how they wrote me off and blogged about me. I was told to um, seek go apply for SSI. I was lost. I was gone, and it was no goodness of my own that put me there. But I still speak from that place and I live from that place. So I had to find happiness in that place. So when it comes down to forgiving others, I'm still trying to forgive myself for letting I didn't meet their expectation. I didn't ask them for the expectations to put expectations on me, but they still did. And that's why I failed at trying to please many people. So it's not me forgiving others, it's me forgiving myself. So that allows me to forgive others, but I take my position, no doubt. And every conversation I'm active in, everything that goes on, that's on my beat. So I don't allow nobody to die. Even in this conversation, from Mel to you to all the speakers here, I have to make sure that I balance the best way that I can to keep this thing afloat. So all of us can walk away taking something from the
You
table.
in my time. Don't expect me to forgive you instantly because you feel like know you so sorry and stuff. That if I choose to, then I'm not ready to forgive you, especially depending on what the crime is. I may never forgive you, and I may never forget. And every time I see you, all I'm gonna think about is you did this, leave me alone.
So now is that holding a grudge
That's
or being
not holding a
or is
grudge.
that being bitter?
You just said it. I was gonna go with it. It's the exact same thing in a relationship that carries over from relationship to relationship. So you just
Right, because
But
it's
if
like if
I'm
you're
not,
still seeing them, it's like
it's
it
the
still
next
triggers
relationship.
I don't
something.
think if you're not still seeing them, if I'm not ready to forgive my, and I will never like I won't even say do the comparison routine or say so and so acts just like so and so. No, I'm just not ready right now. I'm not
Yeah.
ready to forgive you, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and it takes time to be. It's like depending on how deep the wound is can determine how long it takes to heal. If I pinch you, it's gonna hurt for a 2nd,
Right.
right? If I cut you,
It's gonna
it's
take
gonna
some.
hurt. It's got a scab. It's got to do all of these things before it's back to a point where it can be touched and not hurt. And so, in some situations, like depending on what it is, like I had a situation in a relationship when the way that I caught them, they were more worried about the way that I caught them instead of the fact that they had done something wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. It don't matter how I found out.
Right.
I invaded some privacy or all this other stuff. No, no, no. You were sloppy and you didn't make sure you covered your tracks. And I found out. And so now the issue is, oh, well, you did this, well, you did that. No, no, no. The issue is the only reason I was able to do this is because of what you did first.
That's right.
And it was a thing of, all right, I need some time to let this blow off. And they were like, well, you always talking about get past to get off. I said, no, no, no. I give you your time to sit in your stuff. Give me my time to sit in my stuff and see if this is going to be a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, if you offended somebody, hurt somebody, you shouldn't even expect that person to forgive you instantly or whatever. Let them be able to forgive you when they forgive you. And don't put pressure on the situation. You can't do that because you think that I'm gonna put pressure. You said that you was gonna forgive me. Damn it, when I'm ready to. I don't want to talk to you right now. And you bothering me about it is not gonna make me even get over it. That's gonna make me. That's just pulling the scab off of it and making it more fresh again. So you have to give it time. Leave me alone and let me deal with me and let me see, okay, you know what? Let me break this whole relationship down. What did I do wrong? Because you do have to check yourself in relationships. What did I allow? Did I see these signs on this person? If I didn't see these signs on this person, how did this stuff slip by? You know what? He didn't answer the phone then. I should have paid attention to something that it wouldn't have led to this where I'm at right now.
And that is so key, paying attention to the signs and all this. And that's why I said earlier, I believe to a certain degree, we all are responsible, for the breakup and demises of relationships. Because again, had you paid attention to those signs, you happen. So I'm like, yeah, that was my fault because I saw that coming. But again, you got to be in tune with yourself and just be willing to be honest. And a lot of people, oh, she did me wrong. Woe is me, he did me wrong. Yeah, I mean, they may have, but to a certain extent, again, if you looking at this stuff and you see, like you said, oh, they don't call back, they don't text back right away, or they
You
don't
see all these little
all of
signs,
these
and you
things.
still hoping that they're gonna change.
Wait. I get it, but it have to go back to self. Again, the expectation starts with the expectation you put on yourself.
If I text you, I need you to
How
text me
well
back.
do you know the person and your environment? How well do you know your entrepreneur? There's many things that balance out my life, from working out. This brother, he's a father to I'm a father to I'm active taking care of my mom. I own several businesses. I'm study reading. I pray. I'm in my Bible. I'm doing these particular things. If you sit here and text me and you don't get a text right back, then you just didn't get a text right back, because I have to live in this life. And if you're gonna come into my life, then you are the guest. And that's why I said at the beginning, you are experiencing me being me, because this is what makes me before you arrive.
But I don't think that a person, like, we're all busy and we all have multiple things that we're doing. So I don't think that, however, it raises a problem if I'm texting you and your green light on social media is lit up. So therefore, if it's not 5 and 7,
That's a
I'm doing my
ninja.
show. Of course, my ding is lit up. Okay.
Because
But if it's you see Melissa, you
hey,
because we live with our phones, okay? So just pay attention to the bull junk, okay? That's all I'm saying. Just decipher through that bull junk, okay? Because everything is real.
My MacBook is on my kitchen table right now, and it's open.
Okay, well then that would be an exception because this is something that you always do. But for those, listen, we know the signs of those that be on social media versus
okay.
you promoting things. Everybody up here is promoting some, got something going on. But
Let me say something to your listeners as well as mine.
please say something.
There's something called human intelligence and something called artificial intelligence. And if you're going off of artificial intelligence, then you are 100% right. Like my brother just said, anything that clicks, if your email comes on, it lights your phone up, and that Bing makes your phone come to life. So it probably would bring that little green thing up. I don't
No,
know.
no, we
I
talking no.
I personally don't know,
Right. So
because
that's all.
I'm
No,
not a
that
social.
green light mean we know that
Means
once
you're
you calling
acting on.
somebody and the green light is on and they not answering,
But sometimes, no,
and I
sometimes it
agree.
it can be a
I
mess up,
agree.
because I remember when I
I
was on a
agree.
dating site and stuff, and my guy, I'm sitting right next to him, and I was like, I said I clicked on to it. I was like, because it said that you was on it all last night. He was like, I haven't been on it, so I clicked onto it. I'm sitting right next to him. He's not on it, but on the dating site, it had him pinned on being active right now,
And
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 I'm
I
sitting
get it.
next
There
to him.
is room for error because listen, I done jumped off the deep end on my son plenty of times. And he's like, "Man, I ain't even know." I'm like,
Well, see,
"Man,
with me, that
I
has
saw
to be a line.
I saw your light."
That has to be a line that's drawn with anybody that I know. So, like, if I know this brother and this is my brother, we're not communicating through social media. We on the phones and we're talking. So we don't. You don't have to even go through social media. I wish my phone would ring from one of
But
them
that's just
platform sites.
but that's just an example of like, okay, if we're communicating and we've gotten into the habit of when we first started, we texting each other and it's a timely manner, but then when that bull junk switch in, then the whole dynamics of what's going changes. But yet we try to act like we don't see when the shift took place. And then at that point, I think we kind of become responsible for how we get treated because the shift has come.
But it has it always been like that? You know, that you see signs of people early on. Everybody shows themselves.
Share this with the audience as well that's listening. Is just like season change. Right? When you say after a certain period of time, we goes to another season. The problem is, can you shift to the next season or you don't get to the next level in any video game? If you don't pass that level and that shift point where, hey, we done with the back and forth, you know, I done entertained you enough. I got to get back to what's accurate and what's real.
Oh, the devil is a liar. We're going to need something called consistency. Okay.
Wait. The devil, the devil is a liar, and the only person he lied to was yourself. And what came before you, being other than being consistent with you. So when it comes down to me parenting, I'm consistent in that. Taking care of my mom, I'm consistent in that. Going to the gym, I'm consistent in that. Running my business, consistent in that. So when I keep going around and you say, hey, you're not consistent, my brother.
You don't need to be to make time for people say that. Don't date.
Or date somebody who understands your schedule.
I understand that.
That's where the thing is that you have to date someone that understands.
You have to date on your level.
To figure out that if I don't hear from him, and we talk like every day, literally we talk by 4 or 5 hours per day, and he's busy and I'm busy. We text whatever the whole nine while he's at work, while I'm at home, whatever. But when there's a weekend and I don't hear from him, then I know that he's with his children. But he's told me this, and then I'll see the pattern of, oh, he's with his children. He's not on no social media. He is strictly with his children. And then that Monday will fall, they're back in school, and he's like, oh, the weekends of me and my children, what we did this weekend.
I want to say everybody's right, in my opinion. It's just that where I stand, I'm in a different little place. So once again, my book is I Am My Life Coach, and it starts with self. And when you're talking about living a balanced life starts with self. And then God, I believe, will bring you, again, that person should have goals. That person should have things that makes up that person's life. And what a person shares with you is happy, get love. Then you're not going to get it. You mess yourself up. You come with peace. You bring peace. You leave with the relationship. You leave with your love, your peace, whatever you brought. But you can't show up trying to put the expectations on it like we're pen pals, and now I'm out trying to take you around the world like my life is American. Six Flags Great America.
But see, this is where I have to disagree with you at, because you should be expecting something. But if that person can't give you what you're expecting, it's okay. Like I'm not mad because you cannot meet my expectations of communicating or seeing it. That's fine. That's not us. You got to find somebody that is okay with not expecting anything, just a go with the flow type people. Because I hear a lot of people say, oh, we're just going to go with the flow. Expressing that I'm not a go with the flow. I need to know kind of where we're going, because if you want me to follow you, listen, sweet love, I'm not about to follow you off this bridge.
If it's an expectation that you said you should come with the expectations and the need, then is it safe to say that you don't have what it is you're looking for?
That's not true. You're looking for somebody to complement what you want. You want what you want. Like, you don't. So
if you want it, that means you don't have it.
But
if you want it,
let me jump in.
You want somebody else to give it to you.
So there's a difference. I get what you're saying, bro. Right. And speaking from the middle ground in between, it's more of a thing of, all right, so it's more of a thing of, again, those expectations. So if the expectation is Wednesday night is our date night, it's not that you can, like every Tuesday we go to $5 Tuesday movies or whatever your thing. This is one of the things that we do together.
Yeah.
And I need time. Relationships are an investment. They're an investment of time. They're an investment of money. They're an investment of mental and spiritual space. They're an investment of all of these things. And you have to find somebody that is willing to give you the capital, emotional capital, spiritual capital, time capital that fits what you feel your investment is.
Right. And that doesn't mean that you don't have it. Your stock could be full, but I don't want somebody whose account is depleted or is, your card is going to be declined emotionally, available. Then again, those are expectations. So it's like if you're not there, then
But
kind of
you
not
have to also need the one to put the pieces
fix
back
you.
together.
You can be broken, but don't expect
Don't
them to fix you.
yeah,
I
no,
agree
they
with
can't
you.
they can't fix you.
100%.
It's
I
not no
agree
Humpty
with
Dumpty.
every
You have
person.
to put yourself literally back together when you step into these relationships or whatever. And if you haven't gotten over, this past person, whatever, you can't look at that past and say, okay, you know what, so and so didn't do this, why, and the other. Well, let me deal with this person. Now I'm in this new relationship. I done gave myself time, but you start doing the same thing you did before. Well, his green light is on, but you say you're not on social media. You
Let certain things go. So it's like, okay, you gotta, that's where no, I'm still doing the same bull junk, so I'm gonna have to get myself together. But guys, listen, forgiveness, letting this stuff go, it's not healthy to hold on to bitterness, to grudges. Listen, if you expecting somebody to you got to put the work in for your apology, and every day make a conscious effort to let it go, to not let it bitterness and grudges consume you, because it's so unhealthy and it's such a waste of time. It's so counterproductive to your life, your health, your everything. It's so counterproductive. So do your work every day. Just make a decision. I gotta let it go. Is it absolutely? Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, E. Thank you so much, Mel. Tell everybody again how they can get in contact with you on social media.
Instagram at the Total Gent, THETOTALGENT. That is also my Twitter. And it is facebook.com/the Total Gent. And you can also find me at melroberson.com, MELROBERSON.com. Oh, and my YouTube channel. I forgot all about that. I have a YouTube channel called Melevation, MELEVATION, and it's a lot of personal and professional development stuff on there as well.
Awesome. And Adonis Johnson, tell people how they can get in contact with you on social media.
What's good? You can go to Facebook and you can reach me at Adonis Invisible Crown. And also on I Am My Life Coach. You can type that in, I Am My Life Coach. It'll come up as well. I got lives that I do on Mondays as well as Wednesdays. Mondays, Meltdown Wednesdays. Meltdown Mondays, Wednesdays, the Invisible Executive Table. And on IG, you can reach me at is Adonis Invisible Crown, and I also have Invisible Crown INC, invisible.crown INC on IG.
Guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. Please go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled JAYE for all three. Have a good night, you guys. Thank you so much.
Night.
Good night.
Thank you for hitting the J Spot on IntellectualRadio.com.